relationships is not about possession, because possession is all about attachments or insecurities or being emotionally dependent on a certain outcome to be a certain way in order to feel satisfied within. But when a person is emotionally independent, then that person is basically self-satisfied regardless of the outside circumstance. So every person, every woman, and every man in a relationship should be emotionally independent. Now, before two people get together, there's a high level of freedom and there's a flow, there's a vibe. But the moment you put the title of relationship, then everyone now feels like they have to live up to this title, and then the freedom is taken away. So the moment you take away that freedom, you stop a person's individual spiritual journey. Now, scientific research study shows that you can only know your mother, your brother, your husband, your child, only up to around about 70%. So your mother, your brother, your sister, your husband or wife, they can only know you only up to around about 70%. So no person can fully know what it's like to be you. So a lot of times people may judge another person's actions without understanding their reasons. So think about it. You was a kid once before. And when you was a kid, your mom or your dad didn't fully know everything that you experienced. So you have to take that into consideration with your life now. So you may judge your partner, you may judge another person, your child, but you may not understand everything they've been through in life. So you may judge their actions without understanding their reasons. So if I walk to the store, for example, and I come back to the crib, to my partner, I'm not obligated to tell her everything about every tree I saw, every car I saw, every person I talked to, every building or house I saw. Like, there's many different things I'm going to experience on an individual level that is beyond her. I'm an individual. So the same goes for her as well. Like, she's going to experience many different things that has nothing to do with me. So right and wrong is not based upon action, it's based upon circumstance, the circumstance surrounding the action. So if I'm a committed guy and I rub my woman's feet, I give her massages, I speak life into her every day, I put food on the table, I take care of everything, and I'm gonna slow down. You judge a person based upon their habits. You judge a person based upon their habits. So if my habit shows that I don't give myself to anyone, I don't talk to anyone, I live a certain way, I move a certain way. If my habit shows that, but once a month, 29, 30 days out the month, I'm all for her. I'm taking care, I'm washing dishes, I'm cooking, I'm putting money on the table, I'm speaking life into her, etc., etc. But once a month, I may want to step out. Now, look at it this way. Some days I like shrimp, some days I like fish. Doesn't mean that, because some days I like shrimp, I don't like fish. Doesn't mean that because of some days I like fish, I don't like shrimp. No. So what I'm saying is this. Because your partner may like another person or have an attraction towards another person, that doesn't mean that they love you any less. What it means is that they are a person who has many different emotions. So some days I feel one way, some days I feel another way. Some days I want to wear the color red, some days I want to wear the color blue. Some days I want to listen to hip hop, some days I want to listen to R&B. So what I'm saying is this. You should not judge a person for being a person. Because as human, we naturally have different emotions and different feelings and different experiences that we're going to have individually. So, in other words, in ancient African culture, it's a normal thing for a man. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with every man being with many different people. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying that right and wrong is not based upon action, it's based upon the circumstance. So if you don't understand the circumstance, but you're judging the action, then you're looking at the situation from a limited point of view and from a limited assessment. So you have to factor in different components and factor in different things in order to have a very scientific, logical assessment of what's taking place. So never judge a person's actions without understanding their reasons, without understanding their why. So, in other words, every person has a path, and they've been on this path before they met you. And one day you're going to die, and all of the pictures that you have saved in your phone of yourself or your child, none of that shit is going to matter. So a lot of stuff that you think matters now doesn't even matter. It matters, but then again, it don't matter. So I know somebody probably saying right now, like, no, I want somebody that's going to be all for me. Another person's life is not all about you. Like, you shouldn't feel so entitled to make another person's life all based around your life. Because that person has their own journey. They have their own thoughts. They have their own personal experiences. They have their own life. So you should be so much for yourself, and you should satisfy yourself so much that what another person's doing is not taken away from what you're not receiving within yourself. But see, a lot of times people are victims of their partner's lack of action because they're not doing stuff for themselves. They're not taking accountability. So what happens when you don't take accountability? You blame other people for how you feel. I was eating pistachios, and it's kind of, but I'm going to say this. People blame other people for how they feel or for the love that they're not receiving because they're not giving it to themselves. See, the best relationship you can have is with yourself. A lack of relationship with self is a lack of relationship with anybody else. So self-love is the best love. So the more and more you understand that relationships are like business relationships. It's a relationship. So a business relationship, two people make an agreement to come together to work towards a common interest or a common goal. So you and your partner, y'all together to help advance one another's life. So what that means is that it's not all about you. It's all about how could you help them along their path towards them being satisfied. Because a person may want different things. And love is unconditional, which is wanting what your partner wants. Because you will want your partner to want what you want. Whether it's to have another relationship with another female, or another guy, no matter what it is. So make sure you look at things from a holistic point of view before you decide to label relationships, before you start to put somebody within a box, because that box don't exist. It may exist within your mind, but then again, it don't even exist within your mind.